Hey, let's learn how we check the oil on our car. Well, the first thing we will need to do is get that hood open. Now, every car is a little bit different, but most cars have a pretty similar process. We're going to go into the driver's side of the car. Let me switch cameras around and let's go over to the driver's side of the car and release the hood from inside the car. All right, so we are going to open the driver's door, and what we see is down by the foot pedals. Let me pull that key out so we don't hear this binging noise the whole time. All right, down by the foot pedals is usually where you're going to find the release. Now on this car, it's right here. That's supposed to be a car with a hood open is what that symbol means. Sometimes it's over here, like directly underneath the steering wheel. Those are the two most common places where you'll find this hood release. So we're going to give it a pull, and I heard a clink outside the car, which is the hood releasing. So let's go out there and take a look. So now we see that the hood is slightly popped up. Not a lot. Sometimes it doesn't pop up much, so you just give it a little yank with your fingers to get it up. And now there's a secondary safety release. Pretty much every car will have one, and it's in this crack somewhere. Sometimes it's on this end, sometimes it's on the right side, sometimes it's on the left side, sometimes it's in the middle, and sometimes, in very rare circumstances, there's like a little pull down in the grill. It's usually sticking out. It's a little bit different. Most cars, though, will have this style release. Now, if I look, I can see, it's hard to see on camera. There it is. See that little tab sticking out there? We're going to push that release over and then lift the hood up. Now this hood stays up on its own. Some cars will have a little bar right about here that you'll lift up and you'll put into a little slot here to hold it up. That is a hood prop or a hood stand, whatever you want to call it. That's what that's for. And that is how we get our hood up. Now we have access to the engine compartment. Now, there's one thing that we need to get before we even start this process, and that's going to be a paper towel or a rag. And we're going to get just a little bit of oil on it, so make sure it's not something that we want to keep, probably something we're going to throw away, because an oily rag you don't want to throw in the laundry with all of your good clothes. Nor do you want oil residue in your washing machine. So, let's take a look. How do we check the oil on your car? Let me switch this camera view around so that you can see inside the engine with me. All right, we are looking inside this engine compartment, and every car is laid out a little bit different as to what we see in here and how it's laid out. But what we are looking for is what's called the dipstick. Now, it will most likely have a yellow handle on it somewhere. And right there, I see the dipstick way down in there. Now, you want to be careful. If your engine is hot, it's going to be hot in here, and things that you touch may be hot. The dipstick should be fairly okay, so we put our finger inside the little loop on this one. Some of them have like a T handle, so you put your fingers under the T and pull out, but let's pull that dipstick out. Now, be careful. They're a little bit stuck, and you don't want to whip too far. See, now, this is the dipstick. It goes down into the oil pan to check the oil. And then down at the end, we will see how much oil we have. Let me find a way to set this camera down. And what we want to do is clean off any oil that's on there, like so. Get it good and clean. And then we are going to stick it back in there. And we're doing this with the car turned off. And I am having trouble. Oh, there it is. You'll want to find the tube that it came out of. So as you see, I've got it now reinserted into that tube. I'm going to push the handle all the way down, all the way, make sure it's all the way in there. And now I'm going to pull it back out again. And now I am going to look at this stick. And what I'm looking for is to see where the oil is on the stick. And most, let me see if I can get this to zoom in or focus. Most dipsticks will have hash marks right here. And the oil should appear on your dipstick somewhere within those hash marks. That is what we're after. Now this one, I'm not seeing any oil on there, so actually this car needs oil. So it's a good thing we're checking our oil. Now you can easily check your oil while you're pumping gas at the gas station. You can check oil at home. It's a very simple process, as you see. You can just check and make sure the oil is within your hash marks. If it's down at the bottom of the hash marks, that means you need about 1 quart of oil. If you don't see any, well, you're probably going to need a little bit more than a quart. So now that we see we need oil, we're going to go ahead and put the dipstick back in. And we're going to get some oil. Now, how do we know what oil we need? That is a great question. Well, the place where the oil will go is going to look something like this knob up here. Frequently, it is near the top of the engine, as you see in this car. It's pretty near the top. And a lot of times it is labeled. Now, this says SAE 5W30. So that means this car needs 5W30. Now, when I get a container of oil, I will open this up by twisting and then pop that off, just like so. And I will pour the oil down in here. Now, depending on what our dipstick showed, you may not want to pour a whole bottle in there. You may want half a bottle because you don't want too much oil. So if in doubt, pour a little bit of oil in, then check your dipstick again. If you need more, then pour a little bit more in, but try not to overfill it. And then when you are done, you simply put this cap back on here. There we go. Make sure it's good and secure, and you are done. That is how you check and refill your oil. I hope this is helpful. If for more helpful tips, please click that subscribe button and comment down below if you have any more questions, thoughts, or would like to see something else. Thanks so much and have a fantastic day.